the winds. So let's make sure that we send a lot of good juju, God, good love to her family and just to her, right? Because you know what, she's still here in spirit, and I bet you her memory is going to be around for quite a long time. So listen, I want to actually start us off with a video from her. And I think it's really important for us to understand this message, and then we're going to dig into this conversation. Check this out.
Beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I have been fighting to get cancer out of my body for almost 2 years. For a really long time, I have refused mammograms, and that was a mistake. I watched my mom get mammogrammed for 30 years almost, and at the end of that, she had breast cancer. And I said, radiation exposure for years, breast cancer. Yeah, I'm gonna pass. Thanks anyway. I am stubborn. I'm gonna admit that up front. Those of you who know me know that's true. And I stand by that thinking. I stand by the research that shows that an accumulation of radiation in your body can cause cancer. And here comes the but. But what I didn't understand, and what I need you to understand, the reason I'm here telling you my business is because I would have had probably 3 or 4 mammograms by the time they caught it. Instead, I've had to have 2 PET scans so far. Guess how many mammograms worth of radiation a PET scan is? Anyone? 30. 30. So 60 mammograms. You do the math. If I had done the mammograms from the time they were recommended when I turned 40, they would have caught the tumor in my breast years before I caught it through my own breast exam, self-exam, and thermography. And they would have caught it at a place where it was more manageable, where the treatment of it would have been a little easier. It's never easy, but I use that word in comparison to what I'm going through now. Instead, what I'm dealing with is stage 3 breast cancer that is in my lymphs. I need you to get your mammograms. I have been doing 100% alternative and natural protocols and treatments, and I have helped this particular condition not spread like wildfire through my body. That's good news. But it's not gone, and I still have a lot of work to do. And I wish I could go back. I have a 9-year-old I need to be here for. I have no intention on leaving him. I don't want to leave any of my kids. I don't want to leave my friends, my family. Hell, I don't want to leave myself. I like being here. So listen, this is not how this was supposed to go, but I'm just going to keep it real with you like I always do. I need you to share this with the women in your life who may be as stubborn as I was about mammograms. And I need you to tell them that they have to do it. Early detection, especially for breast cancer, changes your outcome. It can save their life.
Ooh, okay, y'all. I had a hard time getting through that. But I'm going to start with you, Dr. Charm, because you are a naturopathic doctor. So we would like to know how you, and there's nothing wrong with the path. She wanted to do her path. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever you choose for yourself is the right choice, whatever you choose for yourself, regardless of how the outcome comes. But what I would like to know is how can you use traditional medicine in conjunction with holistic to help us have the best outcome in our health?
Well, here's the thing. I'm a licensed naturopathic doctor, and I've been a licensed naturopathic doctor almost 20 years now. And, we are taught functional medicine and integrative medicine. I'm an integrative medical specialist, meaning that I write prescriptions, I order mammograms and labs and x-rays and things of that sort. I tend to focus on natural treatments, using herbs or alternative medicine is more of the focus, but I integrate with both. And I think that's the best path. And I think, it gets dangerous out there when you hear stories like this, because then people think, oh, well, she just went with holistic treatment and she didn't do her cancer treatment because she's holistic, and then the holistic is dangerous. But the way I was trained is that, when we have a patient that comes in and they have cancer, like, we're not ignoring conventional treatment. We are supporting them as they go through conventional treatment. As you know, like people who've experienced family members with going through cancer, chemotherapy can be devastating, can cause nausea, vomiting, weakness. So we support that. If somebody's going through radiation, we support that. But I don't know any of my peers who would tell somebody not to get conventional treatment. We're here to support it. And I actually interviewed Ananda Lewis about a year after she got diagnosed with breast cancer. I was on another show on Dave Anderson's Business Bully TV. He had a network, and we had a show, and we interviewed her, and she talked about that's when she was still stage 3. She had just discovered it. She was doing, I think she mentioned during the interview that she was doing the keto diet was helping her, and she was exploring her alternative treatments. But, for her as a doctor, I'm not her doctor, I wasn't her doctor, but to come out stage 3 and ignore the double mastectomy at stage 3, if it went at an earlier stage, maybe, but I would not have advised my patient to just do completely holistic or natural treatments when they're coming in stage 3 at her age.
I think that's very good advice. And I think you like busted a myth right now that, you still can use both. But, because also many years before all physicians and stuff, there was a lot of, in Native American practices and African practices, we all had holistic things in our history. And then, of course, things progressed, and then people just thought only one option of that. So, Marlo, I would like to ask you this because I think a lot of people misunderstand. So, what type of lessons do you think that we can learn from Ananda when it comes to taking control of our health choices?
I think that, not shunning Western medicine, essentially. I mean, if you want to take a homeopathic path, that's fine. I found out 15, 20 years ago that I had a fibroid tumor. I learned that if I changed the way that I eat, I would diminish the ability of that tumor to, I would slow down the growth of the tumor. And so I did that for many, many years. But then I hit a patch in life that was stressful. That stress fed that tumor, and eventually I had to get it out, and I had to go in and seek a doctor and get under the radiation and go under the knife so that I could be well, because it was affecting my quality of life. It wasn't cancerous, but it still was affecting my quality of life. And so I think that, while you can do things for yourself, as you need to still be checking in with a doctor. And I think that that's the part that she's acknowledging, right? Not wanting to do radiation one way and having to quadruple the radiation on the back end when you've ignored it for so long. So I think obviously holistic, eating well, that combats the free radicals that are already in your body that cause cancer. And so just both. You could do two things at once. You don't have to shun Western medicine to take care of yourself. But I think, what Dr. Charm does is amazing, right? Working both sides so that you can get treatment, but then you can be eating right? You could be upping your antioxidants and taking herbs and doing all those things on that side, right? Maybe you don't want to take so many prescription medicines, so you take other things that are homeopathic. But I think that a lot of internet science, I believe, has us here.
I agree, because the first thing people want to do is kind of run to Google. And there are a lot of things that we always tell you to Google that shit on. And I'm not saying that it's not a bad thing, but just please don't let Dr. Google, who isn't a doctor at all, tell you anything at all, because you need professional advice. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
And that's what we're talking about today. We want you to be in the know, whether it's your financial house or whether it's your spiritual house or whether it is your physical house. We want you to be able to know so that you can grow and thrive. I do want to ask you, Yolanda, because you say you also are really keen on alternative. Why do you think that Ananda felt the need to publicly share her regrets about choosing her holistic methods?
Sorry, y'all, I had to unmute myself. Probably because she knew that she made a grave mistake. And she knew that she should have probably done both things, go to the doctor and try to do something holistically at the same time. And also, she knew to educate the public about seeing their healthcare provider. As she said, she avoided mammograms for years because she was so afraid of radiation. But had she gone and gotten a mammogram, she could have detected that tumor in her breast a long time ago, which probably could have saved her life. So, I guess she wanted us, because the Black community, we're so afraid to go to the doctor, especially our older Black community people. We're so afraid of doctors because we have not had positive experiences in the medical field or with doctors. So she probably was trying to encourage the young people, whoever out there, to make sure you get scanned. I know in my case, personally, I remember my blood pressure was a little elevated. And I went to the doctor, and the first thing she wanted to do was prescribe me medication. And I asked her, please, before I take this medication, can I see if I can, do something naturally to bring it down? And she was hesitant, but then eventually she said, yeah. So I worked in connection with my doctor and did my holistic thing at home together and made sure that my blood pressure came down, and now it's normal. So, do two things that do both. As the doctor on our panel said, do both at the same time.
Yeah, and there is a saying, two things can be true at one time.
Yeah.
It's not like there is always one all be all, and we all have our own choices that we can make as long as we're as educated as possible. I love you, Lana, that you kind of fought for yourself and you were like, listen, this is what I want to do. And finally that doctor was like, okay, that's what we're going to do. So Sharon Murphy said, my aunt went through that. She would not go get a mammogram. By the time we found out, she was already in stage 4. She is no longer here. Integrating both would be the best. And then Isaiah also said, I lost my wife 6 years ago to breast cancer. Conventional treatment murdered her. I see people live doing it naturally. So he has had experience with this, and we really appreciate the fact that you shared that with us. And we want you to know that we're sending love to you. That's not easy to lose a spouse. It's not easy to lose anyone, but especially a spouse. So I want to look at our next video, bring in a couple of little more elements, and let's check this out and get back into the conversation.
What's really brave? Admitting that you were wrong, especially when the cost is your life. So Ananda Lewis just died of breast cancer. She was on MTV back in the day, and I was obsessed with her. And before she passed, she did something that deserves everyone's attention. She said that she regrets not trusting medical science. She skipped mammograms, not because she didn't care, but because she was told they were dangerous. She watched her mom get mammograms for years and then still get breast cancer. So she didn't get the mammograms that are recommended for women over 40. And listen, I get that. We know that medical institutions really do fail women, especially Black women, every single day. So I understand that fear, and I have felt that fear. But when Ananda did get diagnosed with breast cancer, by then her cancer was already advanced. Her doctor recommended a double mastectomy, but she said no. She believed her body could heal itself naturally by cleansing it of toxins rather than listening to her doctor's advice. And she told People magazine, looking back, maybe I should have. That is what she wanted to leave us with. that she wished that she had trusted medical expertise more. And that's a message that frankly feels radical, especially right now, when rejecting science is somehow seen as being a free thinker. This is the reality, right? It's your kid growing up without a mom at 15 because of decisions where the vibes felt right, but were not based in medical science. And listen, Ananda was really smart. She totally changed the game. I would not be making this video today if not for Ananda, a groundbreaking woman who dared to be smart on screen. I believe in intuition. I believe in the mind-body connection. I believe in trusting your body. But I also know that trusting your body also means listening to people with real expertise. Not wellness scripters on TikTok or podcasts, not vibes, actual science. Ananda left this message behind for us. She wanted people to hear it because she did not want her story to be repeated. So please hear her.
I think it says a lot about her to leave that message. That message will be heard a very long time. I mean, years and years from now, her message will still be heard and her journey will still be looked at. But Joe, I do want to ask you this. What role does misinformation play in the health decisions that mostly our communities, our Black communities, when it comes to cancer and chronic illness? So what role does the misinformation play?
It goes beyond like misinformation, right? We're literally watching in real time. People are saying, traditional healthcare, harm their loved ones, and Ananda's saying something different. Like it just goes to, what is the misinformation? We don't even know. A lot of us don't even know what the information is. We're not as talented as Charm to like know all of these things, right? So a lot of us just come up with regret, which regret is a form of grief, and I mean that's just what it is. We are grieving versions of ourselves who didn't know what we know towards the end. How do we know? How do we know? It leaves us to just live life the best way we can, because the information out there is all over the place. If you Google anything, I mean, just anything, how to boil a hot dog, you're going to get 10 different versions of how to boil a hot dog, and 7 of them are going to be asinine. They're not going to make any sense. You cannot boil a hot dog like that. Oh, you don't even need water, man. The water's killing us, man. Like it's just all these conspiracy things that go on, and Black women. Hey, listen, my mother, I said earlier, my mother passed away because of mistreatment. Well, I didn't say, but mistreatment in the medical profession. She died because of that. She died. We had to sue the hospital because Black women are not avoiding care because they don't care, or because they're dumb, or because they don't, want to know. It's just the system has harmed them over and over again. So how can we expect trust? How can we expect the system is not worthy of trust? It's just not. So that's where we're at.
I totally understand that. And I do want to point out as well, at some point during Ananda's treatment, she did lose her insurance and she had to kind of fight to get it back. So not only was she trying to keep herself calm, but when you have things like losing your insurance when you're in the middle of trying to get treatment, that adds to the pressure. And we all know that stress also is something that cancer feeds upon. So I want to take a quick break, and then I want to get back, because this comment that we have on the screen, I want to get back to it. And Dr. Charm, I'm going to warm you up. I want you to address this comment when we come back. We're going to take a deep breath and we'll be right back.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a class tomorrow, June 14th. And who do you get? Little me. I will be there to teach you the skills and what it's going to help to maybe get you out of your fears of live streaming. You see me here at least 3, sometimes 4 times a week. And I also do my outside as well. Been doing it for over 10 years. So if you're interested in learning about live streaming and maybe getting out of your fears, why don't you join me tomorrow, June 14th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time? Sign up today if you're not a part of the club. Please do now, because we have that trial at www.flynubianmoneyclub.com. All right, now listen. I want to address this, Dr. Charm. So Ruslan says, my friend works in healthcare and shared that the healthcare system killed her friend by requiring her to get too many mammograms. She got breast cancer and passed. And then she also said that her doctor started requiring her to have mammograms every 6 months. So my question to you is, should there be more education about holistic and alternative treatment methods alongside traditional medicine? And how do you feel about that comment? Just educate us a little bit.
Well, first off, Rosalind, I'm so sorry that your friend passed away. I would question not holistic care in this situation. I would question that particular doctor that she employed. And I think, and I use the term employed because we don't really psychologically understand that when you are hiring a professional to help you, you're employing them, and your doctor is supposed to work for you. It's not supposed to be the other way around. And I know it's under, it's considered one of the, the most respected professions. And we have TV shows like ER and The Pit and the Grey's Anatomy that help reinforce that in society, that doctors are to be respected. And I am a doctor, and I definitely deserve respect for who I am and what I have persevered. However, you need to know how to fire your doctor. And I'm not, me personally, I'm not going to a doctor that's requiring me to get mammograms every 6 months unless, and I don't know that particular person's case. And I can only speculate. Maybe she had something going on to where he was checking every 6 months. But if that were not the case, and the doctors are saying you need to get mammograms every 6 months, I'm looking for another doctor. And, I'm not going to go too much, go into my private medical history, you guys, but I had a situation with a doctor before where I had to report her to the insurance board because she was wanting to require unnecessary procedures. And I'm a doctor. And what always struck me was that I'm like, I'm a doctor and you're trying to get money. You're being unethical. What are you doing to people that don't have a medical background? So you guys, racism definitely is real. Greed is real. You gotta be a thinking person and have a thinking mind and say, wait a minute, I know society is telling me to respect my doctor and all this kind of stuff, but this isn't best for me. Let me get a second opinion. So I am definitely team second opinion. And it is unfortunate that people have felt like the conventional system has killed people. It is a tool of racism. It really is. But on the other hand, we do have Black doctors out there. We do have people. It's a smaller percentage, but we do have Black doctors. I had fibroids, and a Black doctor saved my uterus because she knew what she was doing, and I trusted her. And I had a white doctor, and I switched from him to her because she was an expert in fibroid, the type of fibroid surgery that I wanted and needed. And so I'm here with an intact uterus because of that Black doctor that I entrusted with my health.
I think that's That's so true. There's so much to unpack in that because yes, I mean, you look at the cases like Henrietta Lacks, people are abused that they would tell our people that they were doing one thing and doing another. All the experimentation done on us. So that feeds into the fears of our communities, definitely. I want to check out some stats. So let's look at these and then we'll continue the conversation. Alternative medicine used in the Black community. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine found that 40% of Black Americans use some form of alternative medicine, with a significant portion seeking treatment such as herbal remedies, acupuncture, and chiropractic care. Mm. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Black Americans are more likely to suffer from chronic conditions such as hypertension, diabetes, and cancer, with Black women being more likely to die from breast cancer than any other group. And finally, a 2019 survey by the Kaiser Family Foundation revealed that 60% of Black Americans report having insufficient access to comprehensive health education resources, contributing to misinformation and suboptimal health decision making. Wow. Marlo, how does the medical industry's history with Black people affect how we trust the healthcare system after seeing those stats?
It's
What
hard. The stats are hard, right? But the stats, me being a student of history, the stats paired with what I know about history, what I know about the pseudosciences that are associated with Black people since, they found us, right? It's really scary. I think, when you go to the doctor, when I go to the doctor, I got to get a vibe, right? I got to know that you are asking me questions. You are answering my questions. I can't feel like you just rush me in and out of here like it's a Sonic drive-through. I need to know that you are here to provide care. And I think that people should be a lot more vigilant with their doctors. I know people whose doctors, like Yolanda was sharing, the doctor giving her the blood pressure medicine. I know people that are on three different blood pressure medicines, right? And so it's like, for me, always do your research, always go armed with information. I shared, about my fibroids. I was studying, I was looking at surgeries. I was actually watching surgical procedures that were captured on YouTube. I wanted to know what I was going into before I went into it, right? And I think that we just have to be more diligent about our healthcare, but the history is real, right? We can't ignore hundreds of years of pseudoscience related to Black people. We're impervious to pain. We shouldn't get vaccinated because RFK said that we are super people that don't need vaccinations. Like, all of that stuff is absolute crap. And it's crap that keeps getting perpetuated. Drapetomania, right? Slaves ran away because they were impulsive, not because they wanted freedom, but because they were mentally ill and impulsive. So there's been so much pseudoscience about Black people that I think it's only fair that we are skeptical. But I think that we also have to be reasonable, and we have to do our research. You have to arm yourself with information, not just what the YouTuber said, right? Not just what the YouTuber said, but go and read some medical journals. They're published online. You can read them. You can get information from and an understanding if you do a little bit of research yourself.
Do your research. Mr. Moreau said, other than getting a medical degree, what would you recommend to the general public as a way to educate yourself in general health? Now, I'm actually going to send that to Joe because he deals with our mental health, but we also have to research that too. So I'm going to throw that question to you, Joe.
How does this mental health? I missed it, Lala. Tell me how does this mental
What would you recommend to the general public as a way to educate yourself in general health?
Yeah, I do not know. I need education in general health. I can tell you how to, maintain your mental health in a way. But general health, I struggle. I'm to be honest, I'm having a vulnerable moment here. I struggle. I go to several different doctors. I'm on all these different medications. I stopped taking them because I was like, no, I don't trust this, and my blood pressure would not decrease. But because my blood pressure drives my kidney function, and my kidney function was failing, I had to get on these 3 medications just to keep my blood pressure at a normal rate. And I get extremely frustrated, or I have been extremely frustrated going around to visit several different doctors, and not on top of that, the medical bills be killing you. You know what I mean? So I'll be honest, I'm probably not the best person to ask, but in the meantime, I do have to consult with my therapist to deal with the frustrations of having to deal with these processes over and over again, because I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying to be here for my sons, and but you don't know where to go. You don't know who to trust. You don't, So I'm hoping, to learn something here today. Maybe that's probably a better question for Charm.
And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw it to you, Dr. Charm. How can we best educate for ourselves?
Well, here's the thing. You know, we have to balance things out. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I do believe in vaccination, but that whole statement about RFK when he was getting his confirmation hearings and that Black congressperson was like, she came for him, and the statement he was saying that got misconstrued, saying that Black people are superheroes and about the vaccines. That's not what he was saying. He was saying that the research shows that because of our immune system, that the dosing on the vaccine, it doesn't have to be as high on Black people. And so that's ethnomedicine. Glomerular filtration rate, which is called GFR rate, which is a measure of kidney function, it has to be statistically adjusted for Black people on the lab. You'll see if you look at your labs, if you get a what's called a complete metabolic panel, which will have the GFR in it, comprehensive metabolic panel, it'll say GFR adjusted for African Americans. So it's a different percentage. So we cannot ignore as Black people that we may react differently to certain things. We have other susceptibilities. Even in the breast cancer statistics, like you brought the video talked about the 40%. Well, guess what? The 5-year survival rate is the lowest amongst Black people. And so, why is that? Access to care. Also, we have some other comorbidities like obesity and other things, late stage diagnosis. If people don't have health insurance, they're not going to the doctor. And so I really think the key for many things is finding a caring Black doctor that you can trust to really help keep you in line with certain things. Somebody asking the question is like, how often should you be getting mammograms? Once it's over 40, it should be annually. One of the things Ananda was doing, when she found the lump, she got breast thermography, which is it doesn't use radiation, but by that time it was too late. So what you do is if you don't want to get mammograms because you're concerned about the radiation, then an alternative is what's called breast thermography, where they take heat imaging using infrared of the breast. So it's looking at heat areas, but you have to have a baseline. You can't go get it after something's wrong, like what she did. You have to be getting them, annually or however often. And then that way, then when they see that there's an abnormality, there's an abnormality. And that's for people who are just absolutely like, I'm just not going to get a mammogram, and you going to hit them, knock them over the head and throw them in the bayou, and they still not going to get it. Okay, well then at least get the thermography because there's no radiation there. So, and I'm very heartened by the fact, again, I always state the statistics that Black American people are the fastest growing group for plant-based. Like, I love to hear things like that. And the alternative medicine, I mean, we've all, we just saw Centers. They're talking about hoodoo. I'm a hoodoo practitioner. Like, that's herbs and things from the ground. So I think we can marry both of them. I think finding a provider that you trust is the very first step. And then, like I said before, if that person is, raising your antenna, guess what? You need to go find a second opinion and a third.
I agree. Totally agree. With that, we're going to take a deep breath and take a quick break. This is just something so dear to my heart because health in our community we all seem to be struggling with something. We make jokes about having the sugar or things like that, and that's just not funny anymore. Like we really need to be advocating for ourselves and then doing what we learn. I think that's an important word to take a break. We'll be right back.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
I'm looking for you. So what? I can't find you if you don't send the information in. Listen, we need all of your information. We already told you we do Blackout Fridays, but I'm gonna need you 7 days a week. So what you need to do is make sure that you send in all of your information, your business name, your contact information, your phone number, your website, a little bio, put it in there. Send it to info@realvirtual.net. We are putting the directory together as we speak. Yolanda, I wanna tag this comment to you and get your perspective. Jolly says some insurance companies have patient advocates that can help you navigate some of these issues. And since you're our insurance expert, I would love for you to tap into that.
Okay. I'm not on the medical side, but but yes, there are patient advocates out there to help patients fight for their medical rights. The doctors don't have all the answers, and sometimes when you do go to the doctor, it's almost like they try to force you to take their regimen or their way of doing things, and you should be your biggest cheerleader when it comes to like your own medical. Oh my goodness, why I have a brain fart, y'all?
That was me yesterday.
Your own care, your own medical care. Yes, your medical care. Thank you, Dr. Charm. I got you, girl. Like, ooh, we need to talk about this. I don't know, all the timers I have, girl. But anywho, patient advocates. I remember when I was in the hospital with having my son, I had a patient advocate because there were some things that I didn't want the doctor to do. And I was upset. So I was making a big fuss about it. And they sent this lady in and she listened to me. And she actually was like a liaison between me and the hospital. And she kind of like fought and let them know my opinion on things and what I wanted. And she did her job. It was a good thing that they have that in place. And I'm happy that they do have patient advocates out there, because you should have a voice in your own medical care. You shouldn't just have to listen to everything that the doctor says. They are not the be all end all of things.
That's right. I think we still need to advocate for ourselves, do our own research, have consultations also with your family. These are the things that, we need to do to keep us healthy. Now we have another video and I would love to share it with you. And it's an interview that I think is very beneficial for us. So let's check this out.
Ananda, I know, thinking about Langston, your son, your 9-year-old, doctors have given you 2 to 3 years. It's been almost 2. I have to tell you, just reading that and saying that to you and knowing how much I admire you and love you, and that son of yours loves you. When I read that you'd said, no doctor gets to tell me how long I get to live, period.
That's right.
How much of your determination is driven by Langston?
Oh, gosh. I want to say 100%, but it's probably more like 5,000%. I also know what I know. My determination, although he is my source of inspiration, I have 6 other kids too, my God kids. I feel like I birthed them, but I didn't. I have so many people I need to be here for, not the least of which is myself.
This is why you're
And
so special. I mean, as I said, just watching everything that you've accomplished and continue to accomplish is what makes you such a special person.
Ooh, it's just heartbreaking. I mean, she's just such a light. Marlo, how do you think the Black community can come together to create support systems for those dealing with these type of serious health conditions?
Ew. That is a truly over my head question, because I don't believe that, I think that people have their own problems, right? I think there are so many things that we need to come to agreement in the community about. One's individual health care has to be down the line, because that is your individual health care. Like you said, that's a decision for you and your doctor. It's a decision for your family, and consulting them and seeing what's best for y'all. I think that we could get on one accord about vetting information. I think that if we got on one accord about vetting information, whether it's related to finances or health or business or whatever, I think that would be a great first step, because a lot of times we see something, we see a headline, we take it, we run with it, and before you know it, it's being recalled, but you can't recall bad information on the internet. So I think that if we come together on anything, it just needs to be on providing one another with better information. What I love about what Ananda did is that she came back, right? She was so vocal about her choice to do this holistically. And then she came back and she said, listen, y'all, I did it and I have regrets. And I want you, right, learn from me and go tend to your medical health. Don't worry about the downside of prevention and treatment if it means that you'll have the longevity that you're looking for on the back end. So I think that that's her gift to us, is to be a little bit smarter, make better decisions, make more informed decisions. But also I think that we need to hold one another accountable for information, because misinformation spreads amongst us like wildfire, because we have been duped so many times, because we have been caught up in the matrix so many times. So I think that that's the biggest favor we could do to ourselves, is just arm ourselves with information and share good quality vetted information.
Agreed. Please don't always share your woo-woo thoughts, but sometimes you have to distinguish between those two, because a good message might come from a woo-woo. You never know. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Hey loves, I am Laura Lalaki, and I have partnered with the Fly Nubian Money Club to show you how to go live with confidence. Now, you see me on the show at least 3 times a week, and I've been doing this live thing for a long time. So whether you're building a brand, growing a business, or just trying to show up more powerfully online, this training, yeah, it's for you. We're talking about camera setup, what to say when you hit go live, and how to keep people engaged, and how to turn your live stream into real income. So get ready with your questions. Bring your energy and your beautiful face. Let's get you in a comfortable and a confident place where you can cash in. So I'll see you Saturday, June 14th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it. See you then. Bye. Come on and see me. Come on and see me. Go ahead and sign up right now. FlyNubianMoneyClub.com. 2-hour training. But you don't get it if you don't sign up for Fly Nubian Money Club. So I'll see you tomorrow. I got a lot of great information for you. I want to get some of the general public, not just our people here, our family here. I want us to see some of the comments that people had after hearing about Ananda. So let's check out a couple of these comments. Shelly Face said, I started mammograms at 40, diagnosed with stage 0 at 48. Early detection is absolutely key. User said, so glad I heard this. I've been refusing these also. I am going to make an appointment. Thank you, Ananda. Rest in peace, doll. Love you always. MX Passion says we have to listen to our doctors. They know more than we do. Rest in peace. I heard somebody say, I heard that, but we've already addressed that. Zahara said, I used to be so scared. I still get nervous, but I do it. And y'all, it ain't pleasant. It's not pleasant. Not everything that we do is pleasant. So let's see what else people are saying. Uniquely Uncommon says, I have the same mentality as her, not getting mammograms, scheduling one soon. I think that she got her message point. Little Baltimore said, rest in peace, beautiful. I will share your word with everyone. And Corks and Grapes said, oh, what a cute name. Thank you so much for sharing. I pray your legacy will help all of us. Rest in peace, Queen. And Santil says, praise her for sharing her experience. In spite of what she knows she did wrong, I am so sorry to hear she lost the battle. We all do that with things, some of us more than others. It's being human. We just hope that it's not something like this that we do it with. Praying for her and her family. And guys, I do want to make sure that you understand that as her son was graduating is when she actually crossed over. So you had two major things, a happiness and a sadness at the same time. I would love for us to give our final thoughts, and then I'd like for each of us to please let us know where we can find you. So let's start with you, Marlo. Your final thoughts, please.
Sorry. So my final thought is it is okay to explore your health options and figure out what's best for you. But it's also okay to come back and say, I was wrong, and I want you to protect yourself. So you should avoid doing what I did. And I just want to take this moment to appreciate Ananda Lewis's life. Like, she wasn't just a beautiful person in physical appearance. She was also a beautiful person in spirit, because it takes a lot of humility to come back to the same internet that you said one thing on, and you advocated for one thing, and then to come back and advocate for something else, or what seems like the exact opposite. So I just want to take this time to acknowledge her beauty, and to tell everybody, get your health screenings, get your health checked, find a doctor or doctors that are going to support your personal health vision, and help you get to where you're trying to be. Because ultimately, like Dr. Charm said, we employ them. So you get one doctor, you could get another doctor, but make sure that that is a partnership, and that is not a one-way conversation from the doctor to you. If you are on the Instagram, go ahead and follow me. My name is on the screen over Marlo. I'm fishing for followers on Instagram. So go ahead and follow me right now, and we can become friends or whatever. I'll be in your comments cracking jokes and such.
Reel her in, reel her in. Get on over there. She's got some bait for you, but it's good bait. She knows a lot of good stuff. So you want to make sure that you go and follow Marlo. Yolanda, what are your final thoughts, and where can we find you?
Yes. My final thoughts are, first of all, rest in peace, Ananda. You were just an amazing woman here on earth. I personally am so happy that I was raised with a bunch of women that were into herbs and just like living off the land and living just like very natural, homeopathic way of life. And I think that it really kind of like steered me to the I don't know why I'm having brain farts today, y'all. It steered me to the right direction of healthcare and how I look at healthcare and everything like that. My mother was like the hood herbalist. Everybody would go to her to get a herb to cure this ailment, or, and I took that along with me. Even now, if I'm sick, I don't readily go to the doctor. First, I analyze and I sit with myself and I see what is wrong and see how I can fix it first. Then I may go to the doctor. Don't get me wrong. I do my wellness checks every year, okay? Because you have to know what's going on inside your body. But I feel that if you sit with yourself, and don't think I'm crazy, y'all, but if you sit with yourself, you will know if something is wrong. Anyway,
My name is Yolanda Spivey. I'm insurance broker to the stars. You can reach me at www.mwhitney.com. And also, if you need to email me, life@mwhitney.com as well. We do all types of insurances. We can insure your pinky toe if you need your pinky toe insured. So give us a call for all your insurance needs. Thank you.
Yolanda, I need you. My voice ain't back. I'm thinking I might have to insure that thing. Hey, listen, make sure that you reach out to her. There is her website there. And finally, I'm going to ask you, Dr. Charmer, I left you last for a reason because you have a lot of experience with this. So what are your final thoughts and where can we find you?
Final thoughts, rest in peace, Ananda Lewis. I had the pleasure of interviewing her, and she's just always been a bright spirit and a role model. And so it is such a loss. My thoughts and prayers to her family and to her son, Langston. And here's the thing, even Ananda, with her fame and access to certain resources, at the end of the day, she lost her insurance, and that affected her ability to get the treatments that she was seeking. And then she also got caught up with the coronavirus, where they shut down a lot of surgeries and things, and she had to drive to Arizona to get treatment. And so, Black people, because we have such economic vulnerabilities, we fall short with some of those things. And a lot of times, if people they don't have insurance or they don't have the resources to get care, then the care gets ignored. And so I say, we're here at Fly Nubian Money. We got to get our money up. We definitely got to get our resources up. But even with that, I am such an advocate of finding a doctor who looks like you and who has that cultural sensitivity. And again, if you have any second thoughts, get a second opinion. Do not depend on one provider. You all can find me at Instagram, CharmGirl77. I am a naturopathic doctor. I'm also a spiritual healer, psychic medium, and y'all can go to my new site, spiritualcharm.com, to book your readings, because we are mind, body, spirit over here. Thank you so much for having me, and it's been a pleasure.
I absolutely love it. Mind, body, spirit. And here we're adding financial. All right. So listen, you need to make sure that you go and check her out. She actually is very funny, y'all. I love going to her stuff. And when she's doing her comedic stuff, I'm cracking up. I love you. So listen, everybody, here's my final thought. There is no right answer for everyone. The only way that you can advocate for yourself is to be as educated as possible. It's okay to depend on doctors. It's okay to depend on natural doctors, as long as you can make an educated decision for yourself and your family. I am so sorry that Ananda is no longer with us, but I'm also very proud of her for leaving the message. And Ananda, I scheduled my mammogram today. So you reached me too, and I thank you. If you're interested in moving abroad, because y'all might not want to just stay in the States, I have a beautiful quiz on my website that will help you make that decision and to see where you fall on that spectrum, on if it's something that's possible for you. You can find that www.laurakey.net. I hope to see you over there, and I hope to see you tomorrow in our class at 11 a.m. Now listen, I want to say thank you for joining us today as we reflected on the life of Ananda Lewis and the choices that we make about our health, whether we choose conventional treatments or alternative methods. The most important thing is that we make informed decisions that aligns with our needs. Health is the most important value asset that we have, and we need to prioritize it, not just for ourselves, but for our families and our communities. So let's continue to have these important conversations and empower each other to take control of our health. So until next time, stay strong, stay informed, and keep fighting for your well-being. And Ananda, into the light, you beautiful soul. Thank you for being a beacon for us.